Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope my voice is audible. Let me just give a quick intro about myself. I'm Naveen. I have more than like 15 plus years of industry experience, pretty much into data engineering and analytics area. I worked on on-prem, hybrid, multi-cloud provider vendors, Azure, AWS, GCP, and all. I'm a certified professional Google Cloud architect as well as professional data engineer, and I do teachings as part of my passion. Right, so this is that's my quick background.
Okay,
So
thank you.
let's go through the content. Yeah, I really enjoyed answering these questions, and feel free to add any more. I'll take up once we finish the course. Right. So I hope my screen is visible. We check.
Yes,
Right. So we spoke about objective. Again, whoever is trying to build up some kind of heavy expertise or wanted to get start, wanted to transform their career or want to lead teams. Yeah, definitely, it's a good course to register for. Right, and I hope every one of you, fall under this category, have some kind of good experience about. Right. So we'll talk about what's Google Cloud Platform, its products. We'll design and build data pipelines. Right, we'll do Hadoop workloads like on GCP using data proc, right, PySpark workloads. We'll do batch processing and streaming processing using data flow, right, PubSub, and you have an orchestrator, Cloud Composer to do all those things. Right, there's a UI based pipeline development, right? Like just like a talent, a tool, or a people who have worked on, I don't know, Informatica, Ab initio, Data Stage. There's a lot of UI based tools where you don't need to even write a piece of code to get your data engineering tasks done. So we'll also look at that particular product called Data Fusion. And Composer is one like an Airflow, which is built on Google Cloud Platform. So we'll see Cloud Composer, right? So again, we'll understand, do a deep dive on Google BigQuery analysis there. We'll try to understand how do you write some machine learning code using BigQuery SQL. We'll use BigQuery ML models to, let's do some supervised and unsupervised uh, learning using BigQuery ML, and we'll try to generate, insights from the streaming data. Right. So the first module I'll call it as module 0. This we will set up the basic access on GCP accounts. So admin team will reach out to you, and you can take help from them. So we'll see this. There's something called Cloud Shell. How do you access it, and how do you like? It's like a prompt-based terminal where programmatically you can interact with a lot of different GCP products and services, not through UI as well. So we'll see how you can use Cloud Shell to interact with a lot of different products and services. I might not be watching out chat. If somebody wants to stop me or have any question, please unmute and you can ask. Right. So we'll see what's products on GCP, what service accounts are, and what are different APIs and services available. What's a virtual machine, and how do you create a networks? I mean, how do you use a basic networks, and what are the different storage options you have it on GCP? And we'll understand, pricing and billing, a basic level of pricing and billing. This is first module to give you an overall overview of GCP, so that when we start moving through different products and services, right? So we'll not again, as you register for a free tier account, I don't want you to get billed unnecessarily. So when we talk about billing and pricing of different on a high level the products and services, we'll be able to watch out, how much you are shelling out for the usage of your different products and services. So that's like a module 0, I would say. The actual content, yeah, will start from module 1. So we'll understand what's the role of data engineer and what data engineering challenges you'll have, and what's data lake, data warehouses, right? And difference between your traditional databases like an Oracle ERP systems, and what's data warehouse is, and how do you identify what you call PI data? How do you classify them? And again, now data engineer team, they don't work in silos, right? So there's a source team dependent, and there's a target team, like you have machine learning folks, data analysts who might be interested in your data, right? And how do you interact and with different teams, right? And how do you kind of store your data or design your data engineering system so that your downstream or upstream systems can also access or are at ease, right? And we do data governance, data access, and we do production ready pipelines. And again, everything is driven through a case study, right? And we'll have a labs. We'll do something directly in the class, and we'll do some kind of as a little homework projects, right? And in the second module, and again, the first module will start with BigQuery, so that's a power intensive product start with. And even the second module, we'll talk about BigQuery and Google Cloud Storage. So what's a data lake, and how do you build a data lake, and how do you optimize your costs when you are storing data in data lake, right? And all those things we'll cover, and we'll try to bring in some relational data into what do you call your target system like BigQuery, and we'll explore from there. So and then we'll start building a warehouse. We'll understand how do you query huge data, right? And we'll explore a few metadata tables like information schema on BigQuery, right? And we will handle complex data structures like what do you call nested data, repeated fields. How do you store the data? How do you read such kind of a data? Right? We'll also talk about performance of your tables, improving performance like using partitioning, clustering on BigQuery, right? So all those things we'll see it. And we'll talk about data form in BigQuery and what's data canvases, right? There's something, using natural language processing, you just ask, let's say you have a table called employees, right? You like to understand, without writing a SQL code, you like to understand how many employees are there at a table. Or you wanted to ask that table, how many employees have joined after Jan 2025, right? So that's like a basic NLP question which you wanted to ask to BigQuery table. You can use data canvas to just question it and get some insights out of it, right? So we'll see those things, how do you use them, and how do you carry out different operations on BigQuery, right? And we'll solve some kind of ETL quality issues and all in the module 4. So module 1 to 4, we do an extensive thing on BigQuery. All your course content will revolve on particular product called BigQuery. In module 5, we are executing your Spark or PySpark jobs on Dataproc. We'll try to create Dataproc clusters. We'll try to understand different products and services on Dataproc, right? And we'll try to run some jobs which read some data from PySpark Dataproc jobs, which reads data from different source systems and write it to your target system like a BigQuery, right? So that's on the module 5. Module 6 will start with data flow. This is built on Apache Beam framework, one of the recommended data engineering products on GCP. If you're starting your product something from scratch, so we will do the data processing, using data flow. Right, we'll write some code there. We'll understand data flow templates, data flow SQL and all. And after that, in the module 7, we'll talk about data fusion. As I said, it's a UI based product where you could visually build pipelines to bring data from source to target system. And we'll also see Cloud Composer. It's an orchestrator where it will help you to coordinate between a lot of different GCP services, right? Which is built on Apache Airflow open source framework. We'll see, how you can, how your jobs get scheduled, how your jobs are run, how is dependency set up, what happens if it fails, there's your logging, monitoring, all those things will be handled in Cloud Composer. Right. So from module 8, we're talking about handling real-time data. Right. So when you have some streaming data coming in, let's say you have a credit card transaction, or we have a debit transaction at ATMs, this information flows real time. Right. A lot of IoTs, sensors data coming out of it. So how do you handle such kind of data? Using PubSub, again, cloud data flow streaming features, and how do you get your target data loaded in BigQuery or Bigtable kind of a database. After that, we will talk about BigQuery advanced functionality. How do you use analytic window functions? how do you optimize your queries for more performance, and we will see some basic visualization tool called Data Studio. Now these days it is called as Looker Studio, where you can we'll try to build a basic visualization dashboard in a session, so that you'll also understand how uh, visualization dashboard is built, right? This is one such interesting product called Dataplex. Recently, there's huge demand which is kicking in, right? So, how do you build a unified? There's a lot of different products and services on GCP, right? So, how do you unify them, and how do you access it at a single place, and how do you build a data mesh, right? So, we'll talk about uh, that's like a unified data analytics platform, Dataplex. And module 14, 15, and 16 will touch based on advanced analytics and machine learning. This is more like an intro for a data engineer. We don't do a deep dive. Again, this is like getting basic understanding of what machine learning on Google Cloud platform is, right? And we'll use few APIs. Let's say somebody is trying to, we have a data set, coming in Spanish, and your requirement is, translate all your Spanish source, files into English and write it to your BigQuery, right? So that's like your sample requirement when you're working for a global teams. So how can you leverage a translation API, get your data translated, and then load it to BigQuery? We'll see such kind of a use case there, right? And then you can write some PySpark code, and you can write some thing directly from BigQuery notebooks. I'm not sure if people who are familiar with Jupyter notebooks kind of a thing. It's like uh, a scratch pad or a what you call a workbook, where you can write a piece of your Python code there. So we'll see how you could write some Python code on BigQuery notebooks. We'll see auto ML. Instead of writing machine learning code, there is something where you have a defaultly suggest you some kind of a machine learning models by selecting some products. We'll see that too on module 16. 17, we'll try to build some BigQuery ML using SQL. Now, machine learning models, without using Python or any other programming language or R or anything, using SQL, how do you write a ML model? And we'll try to do some uh, hands-on in the classes. How do you predict a byte duration using a regression model, or you pick up a classification model, and we'll try to get that done. And finally, how do you this Gen AI, and how do you build some prompts? How do you use Gen AI on GCP? Gemini will have a quick intro about Gen AI on GCP. So this module 18 and 17, I have covered it. But again, even on the this thing, this is not there on recommended GCP content, but I know we are moving towards Gen AI, right? So at least some basic understanding of these products on GCP will definitely help people who are leading different teams, and who wants to pitch in some interesting products to their clients or their partners, right? So uh, this course completely will have 40 to 45 hours of content, and all the uh, classes, most of the classes, 80% at least, will have some hands-on and demos going on. And I recommend everybody to parallelly follow with me. And if you run into any questions, any issues, we'll try to take it up. Right. So quickly, if you're trying to look at my screen there, so this is the Google Cloud console, right? So when I just as soon as I say console.cloud.google.com, it will ask you to enter your Google account user ID and password. Right? I gave that, and it brought me to this page. It got me to this page. So you can access a lot of different products and services through quick access. You can look at different products available on GCP, right? And let's say you go to a particular product called BigQuery, right? You can click on BigQuery, and you can just go to BigQuery Data Studio. So there's something called project here. There's something analytics. It is just like you can think as like a logic container. I don't want to do a complete deep dive because there's something other concepts like folder and organization. You might get confused. So you can just think this project as like a logical container where it will hold all your GCP products and services, and you can treat this like a development environment or a test environment or a production environment. So this data analytics is a project or like a prod environment where it will hold all my GCP products and services. Right. So when I go to BigQuery, there's something called data sets in this. This is called a data set. It is like a schema, or you can consider this like a simple folder where it holds your tables. BigQuery dataset is something like a folder, or in some databases you call it as like a schema, which hold a lot of different tables, right? So let's say I have a table called case. I just click that. I can quickly look at the schema of my table, right? And I can look at the preview without even querying the table. So it will not cost me anything. So somebody is looking for how do you minimize your cost, right? Just one quick thought. Somebody, let's say, usually people are pretty much habituated to run some kind of, select star from case, a table, right? So that's like a usual practice, people who run through different, what do you call, SQL flavors. Right now, I'm just trying to explore some data. I don't want to get anything built. So just wanted to get some understanding how the data looks like. So I just do a preview of my table and you'll be able to quickly look at the data. And when you try to query it, there's something called for each of your query, there is some amount of data gets scanned and you get billed for. And you don't want to use select star, and you want it to display select only a few columns to optimize your query and get your cost less. We discuss all those things in detail. So this is a table, simple table. You can create a view on the table, right? And you can schedule the views, and you can do lot more through BigQuery. You can bring, create an external table like your data sitting in Google Cloud Storage or different services on GCP, and you can create an external table from BigQuery as well, and you can bring that lot of different source structured data or semi-structured data into BigQuery. Hi guys, thanks very much for your time and patience, and we'll connect back soon. Thanks. Bye bye.